Have you ever found yourself tossing and turning in bed, your mind racing at 1,000 miles per hour, unable to sleep after a particularly stressful day? Well, this scene is more common than you might think and can be extremely frustrating. Often, when we're anxious, our minds fill with worries that seem to amplify in the silence of the night. It could be a problem at work, a family argument, or even that endless list of tasks we still need to complete. This state of mental hyperactivity can create a real vicious cycle. The more we try to sleep, the more anxious we become, and the harder it is to fall asleep. To illustrate, imagine the following situation. You've had a day full of meetings, your inbox is overflowing with emails, and you still have an important presentation to prepare. When you go to bed, instead of relaxing, your brain begins to process every detail of the day and already anticipates the challenges of the next. You check the clock every half hour, calculating how much sleep you can still get if you fall asleep. Now, sound familiar? This scenario is a typical example of how daily anxiety and stress can directly impact our ability to sleep well, leading many to poor sleep quality and, in some cases, developing chronic insomnia. If you identify with this situation, know that you are not alone, and there are effective strategies to improve your nights of sleep. Brain reprogramming. Given the difficulties in falling asleep caused by anxiety, it is crucial to develop strategies that allow us to re-educate the brain to find peace and relaxation at bedtime. It is important to emphasize these solutions are designed for long-term efficacy. They are not immediate remedies, but rather practices that, incorporated into everyday life, can significantly improve the quality of your sleep over time. One of the most efficient ways to combat insomnia related to anxiety is to reprogram the brain to deal with worries at appropriate times and places, keeping the bed free of these thoughts. This process involves training the mind to separate concerns from the time of rest, ensuring that bedtime is calm and restorative. A useful technique for this is to establish a worry time. This may seem counterintuitive, but by dedicating a specific time of day to think about your concerns, you can better control these thoughts and prevent them from inappropriately invading. Choose a time that is not close to bedtime, for example, in the late afternoon. During this time, allow yourself to reflect on what is causing anxiety, explore possible solutions, and try to resolve what is practical. Then, try to close these issues mentally until the next worry time. Another strategy is the practice of mindfulness or full attention. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present, observing thoughts and sensations without judgment and without reacting emotionally. By practicing regularly, you can learn not to be carried away by worries, seeing them just as passing thoughts that do not need to dominate your mind or your nights. In addition to these practices, it is essential to understand that worries have their function during the day, helping to plan and solve problems. However, at night, they are counterproductive. Physically separating spaces also helps. Keep your workplace and your sleeping area distinct if possible. This reinforces the idea that the bed is a place of rest. Implementing these techniques, you train your brain to put worries in their proper place, which reduces anxiety at bedtime. Another very useful technique is guided visualization. Here, the exercise is to visualize a scenario that conveys peace and serenity. It could be a quiet beach, a sunny garden, or any place that brings you a sense of relaxation. The key is to engage all your senses in the visualization to divert the focus from the worries that cause anxiety. In addition to these mental techniques, adjustments in the physical environment are also essential. Ensuring a dark, quiet room with a pleasant temperature can make a big difference. The use of aromatherapy with essential oils such as lavender, known for their relaxing properties, can also be a great ally. Adopting these practices regularly can not only help improve the quality of sleep, but also contribute to better overall anxiety management. It is an investment in your well-being that is worth considering. Strategies for improving sleep. Creating a consistent sleep routine is one of the most effective strategies for those looking to improve sleep quality, especially if suffering from anxiety or insomnia. A well-established routine signals to your brain that it is time to slow down and prepare for sleep, which can greatly facilitate the process of falling asleep. Let's start with something simple: the use of a sleep mask. By blocking out light, the mask helps induce the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating the sleep cycle. This is particularly useful in urban environments where light pollution is constant, or even in homes where complete room darkening cannot be achieved. Another crucial element is consistency in sleep and wake times. Try to go to bed and get up at the same times, including on weekends. This helps regulate your biological clock, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up. The conditioned association between your sleep routine and the act of sleeping is also very important. For example, creating a nighttime ritual, such as reading a book for 20 minutes, taking a warm bath, or doing some light stretching, can be extremely beneficial. These activities, when done consistently before bedtime, can become signals to your brain that it is time to slow down and prepare for sleep. Another point to consider is attention to what you consume before bed. Avoiding caffeine and heavy meals in the hours leading up to sleep is essential, as they can disturb your rest. Opting for calming teas such as chamomile or lemon balm can be an alternative to relax the body and mind. These strategies, when combined, form a solid routine that not only improves the quality of sleep, but also strengthens your ability to deal with anxiety and stress. Now that you know how to establish an effective routine, let's examine the common problems that can arise with insomnia and how we can readjust our habits to combat these difficulties. Where my insomnia comes from. When we talk about insomnia, especially that influenced by anxiety, one of the most common problems is the habit of revisiting worries at bedtime. This can lead to a negative association in the brain, where the bed is not seen as a place of rest, but rather of stress and worry. It's as if by entering the room and lying down in bed, you automatically activate a review mode of all the day's problems and concerns. This vicious cycle is quite harmful, as it transforms the time for sleeping, which should be for relaxation and disconnection, into a session of anxiety and stress. Understanding how to reprogram the brain to dissociate the bed from these concerns and associate it with sleep is crucial to combat chronic insomnia. A useful technique in this respect is to limit activities in bed exclusively to sleep, and intimacy, of course. Avoid using your cell phone, working, or watching TV in bed. If you can't sleep after 20 minutes, it's advisable to get up, go to another room, and do some relaxing activity until you feel sleepy again. This helps reinforce the idea that the bed is a place for sleeping, not for staying awake. Additionally, creating a worry journal can be beneficial. Dedicate a few minutes before going to the bedroom to write down your worries and possible solutions. This can act as a safety valve for the mind, freeing it from the urge to keep revisiting these issues at bedtime. These approaches help recondition the brain to see the bed as a sanctuary of rest, not a stage for your worries. With a more peaceful mind, the body can also relax and prepare for a restorative night's sleep. Concrete action for change. Taking practical steps during the day to deal with your concerns can be a big step towards ensuring a more peaceful and restorative night's sleep. Planning a daily time to organize these concerns in an intentional and methodological way is essential. This not only helps minimize stress at night, but also provides a sense of control over problems, which can significantly reduce anxiety. An effective method is the worry box technique. This approach involves writing your concerns on small pieces of paper and placing them in a dedicated box. The simple act of writing and storing the concerns can symbolically help put them aside. Set a time during the day to review and assess these concerns. This allows you to set aside time to deal with them in a rational and organized manner without interfering with your nighttime rest. In addition, setting reminders and alarms to perform tasks related to these concerns can help ensure that you don't forget or ignore them. For example, if you have financial worries, schedule a specific time during the week to review your budget or talk to a financial advisor. This organization can lessen the tendency for financial concerns to invade your thoughts at bedtime. Implementing a worry triage technique can also be helpful. This involves deciding which concerns require your immediate attention, which can be scheduled to be resolved later, and which are simply irrational or unproductive and should be discarded. This process helps reduce the volume of concerns you carry daily, facilitating a more peaceful mental state at bedtime. Finally, it is important to understand that dealing with concerns proactively during the day can profoundly transform your nighttime experience. By taking these concrete actions, you not only prepare for a more peaceful night's sleep, but also for a calmer and more controlled daily life. Now that we've covered how to deal with concerns practically, let's conclude our guide with some final words and a call to action for those who wish to continue improving their sleep and quality of life. We have reached the end of this guide on how to sleep better even when anxious. We have covered practical strategies for reprogramming the brain, establishing a consistent sleep routine, and processing concerns during the day to ensure more peaceful nights of rest. Implementing these techniques can not only improve the quality of your sleep, but also significantly increase your ability to deal with daily anxiety and stress. Now, I invite you to put what you've learned into practice. Start today to establish your sleep routine, organize your concerns effectively, and train your mind to separate rest time from daytime activities. Remember, change does not happen overnight, but with persistence and dedication, you will certainly see significant improvements. I wish you nights of peaceful and deeply restorative sleep. Good night, and until next time.